Hi, are you interested in finding out what my 89-year-old grandmother just taught me about sleep and success? Well, if you have, you've come to the right place. My name's Brendan Lumgare, and I'm the sleep guru. And today's video blog is one tip that will cover both sleep and success, all rolled in one. And it's what I just learned from my grandmother, who's been here visiting the last 2 days from Manitoba, which is where my parents are originally from. So she was in town, and I love just finding out more from her. I've got so much respect for my grandmother. She's 89 years old. She is so full of spunk and energy and life. When she gets up in the morning, she gets up early. She is down in her basement and she walks 50 laps around her basement, through the laundry room, through the den, and she keeps doing these laps. She does 50 of them every morning. And even when she was here the last 3 nights at our house visiting, she would still do them. She would still do 50 laps around our basement in the morning. I could hear her feet pitter-pattering around in circles, so it was really great. She's such an inspiration to me. She was even mowing her lawn until she was 85 years old, and the only reason she had to stop was her eyesight was getting worse with cataracts and stuff. But she's got that fixed now. So I just got a lot of respect for her and a lot of other people that have been on the planet for, almost triple the time I've been around. So I think we have a lot to learn from our elders and show them respect and learn what worked for them and what didn't work. So my grandmother, she lived through the Great Depression, and she lived on a farm out in the prairies of Manitoba. And one of the things that I asked her about was, well, what did people live like back then? I'm always curious to know what life was like back then, before computers and smartphones and cars, were abundant and all this stuff. And I asked her, got to learn more about that. And then I asked her, what were people's sleep patterns like? Like, when would they go to bed? When would they wake up? What would they do? Because on the farm, she went on to tell me a story about how their lives were very much adjusted with the seasons, because in the summertime, of course, spring and summer, it was the busiest time ever to be on a farm. They were seeding, they were doing all the preparation for the crops. They were, working the whole summer. As soon as it was warm enough to get out there, they were out there doing stuff. And I asked her, well, what time would they get up in the morning? And she said, well, they'd get up at 5 a.m. And I said, well, what time would they, finish work and go to bed? And her answer really surprised me. She said they'd go to bed when they were done what they had to do that day. So, it was pretty amazing how hard they worked. And it was also amazing to find out about, how they lived. So they got up at about 5 a.m. in the spring and summer and went to bed at about 10 p.m. So the key lesson here today, which I asked her, well, is there any kind of sayings you used to use to get yourself motivated or get yourself out of bed? And it's a saying I'm sure you've heard a lot before, but it's a key to getting a good night's sleep and being successful all rolled into one. And what she said is, the early bird gets the worm. The early bird gets the worm. And I'm sure you've heard it 100 times, and it's a little cliche, but when it came from her mouth, I really had to pay attention. Because these people lived through the Great Depression, times were tough, crop failures, bugs, funguses were taking out crops. It was a tough go for many years. So I had to listen to this closely, and what I got from it and talking with her was really about getting up early and getting a start on the day. So I know some other success authors talk about this. Robin Sharma, who wrote the book The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari and The Greatness Guide, he also recommends this. He suggests getting up at 5 a.m. and he even challenges people to get up and join what he calls the 5 a.m. club. and starting their day with what he calls the holy hour, which is to spend 1 hour doing exercise, meditation, prayer, reading books that are inspirational, like not reading the newspaper, but reading inspirational books, all that kind of stuff. So this is the holy hour. Starts at 5 a.m. And he says one of the quotes from his book was something like, "While the rest of the world is sleeping, I am awake. I am meditating." And this was a big key for his success, because he said a life that's successful is merely a bunch of days that are successful. So getting up at 5 a.m. Now, I asked her, why didn't they get up at 4:30 a.m.? I'm always trying to figure out what is that time. And she didn't have a scientific answer or anything to that, but basically it was 5 a.m. was the right time to get up, because by the time you got yourself ready, the sun would be up on the prairies, at 6:30 a.m. or 6 a.m. in the summer, and they could get down to work. So here's my challenge to you. Are you willing to join the 5 a.m. club with me? So I've been inspired by her. I'm going to give this a shot, because I'm always trying to find that ideal time to go to sleep and the ideal time to get up. And it's different for every person. There's actually 3 different sleep types I've identified, but I'm willing to try this out. So right now it's Wednesday, and 1 week from now is going to be the summer solstice on June 20th. That's the longest day of the year. So what I'm going to do is get up at 5 a.m. for the next 5 weekdays and start my day then and see how it goes. So if you're willing to join me to join the 5 a.m. club for 1 week and give it a shot, leave me a comment below. And if you're already doing that, and please tell me about it, and tell me about how it's working for you and what results you're getting or what challenges you're facing. So that's your sleep tip and success tip all rolled into one, thanks to my 89-year-old grandmother this week. So that'll get you through the next little while here. And so go ahead, leave a comment below. And once again, I'm Brendan, the Sleep Guru, signing off, encouraging you to breathe deeply, serve others from your heart, and have a great sleep tonight. Take care. Namaste.